I am returned to continue on. Your journey here is a solitary one. It looks as if you are surrounded by many, many other people, but your journey to enlightenment is your own internal unfolding. You will come to know yourself by studying A Course in Miracles. You will come to recognize the landscape of your mind. You will come to see where there are quicksands and bogs and dangerous cliffs that you must be aware of. It is a landscape. It is an interior landscape that manufactures an exterior world. So do not think about the world as the place to solve the problems. That is where the problems are arising from within the mind landscape. So your landscape, your interior landscape, is where you must go to change your world. If you have relationships that are difficult, if you have hatreds and unforgiveness that are tormenting you in your mind, you must take control by investigating your internal landscape. It is no different than living in a country and never traveling. You must be willing to travel, to experience new things, to see the lay of the land. That is what is going on here when you study the Course in Miracles. The Course in Miracles is a map to your inner landscape. It is taking you there. It is like a light to shine in the darkness. It is your guide into a dangerous territory. The mind, the ego mind, is a dangerous territory. You will not succeed by yourself. Do not go in there by yourself. Take the book with you. That is what it is for. It is a precious medicine in that way. When you are feeling sad and depressed and lonely, read the book. The book has a vibration all of its own. It will raise you up out of that egoic mind just by reading it. You do not have to understand it. You do not have to practice it in that moment. Just reading it will call energies to you that are of high vibration. You may not be aware of them, because if you are in a low vibration state, you cannot feel us. You cannot understand our language because it is of a high vibration. But use this book to investigate yourself. As you study this material, as you practice the lessons, as you discipline the mind, you will come to know yourself. And that is the journey that you must take before you worry about anybody else, anything else. All you must know is that you always have a choice to be kind or to be cruel, to offer love or judgment. Those are the simple things that when you are interacting in the world that you must decide to do. You are the deciding factor. You are the one that chooses. Nobody else is choosing for you. So you have your private practice of reading and studying the material, practicing the lessons, disciplining the mind, contemplating what it is that is going on within your consciousness. And then you have your external experience, which is a demonstration of your internal landscape. And so you have the opportunity to come to understand yourself more and more as you experience your world. Bad relationships, broken hearts, sicknesses, lost jobs, successes, fun. These are all your internal landscape manifesting outside for you to see. So you are able to see the balance of your mind by what is going on. But what we want you to understand is that your guidance system, in concert with the retraining of the conditioned mind, is the 1-2 punch, so to speak. That is what we will say. You need both of them, but you must practice the clarification of mind so that you understand the guidance system more clearly. You must look at your life and understand that there are conditioned systems within your world at the moment that have taught you things that are untrue. You must listen to how you feel, understanding what has happened to you. These are what may seem to be difficult things to come to comprehend, but that is why we are producing the materials that we are producing, because they are revolutionary in terms of your society at this time. Normal is not natural. Normal is not healthy. Normal is not expansive and awakening. So you are immersed in a society that appreciates unconsciousness, that promotes unconsciousness, that revels in violence and murder and death. This sounds very dramatic, but you do not have to look very far to see the truth of this. You must turn away from that world, if not in action, then in appreciation. You must understand that you can be at a table of people gossiping negatively, fearful in their ideas, and you are the deciding factor in what you are going to take from that moment. You can decide that they are winning, that yet they are going to overwhelm you, or you can step up and bring a positive idea to that table. You can bring love to that table in some form, not as a lecturer, not as a preacher, but some act of love can be demonstrated. You can even choose to offer to get somebody a cup of tea. You may put a gentle hand on someone's shoulder who is afraid of environmental devastation. You have a choice in any moment how to demonstrate love. It can be a very, very small action. It can be a very, very small statement. But in your consciousness, in that moment, you are choosing love instead of fear, and you will reap great rewards from doing this. Do not mistake this action as having to be a big demonstration. It is small demonstration after small demonstration. It is one thought after another. It is listening to how you feel. It is listening to the words you are speaking, the dreams you are having, the ideas that are running through your mind. You must learn to discern what is the ego's ideas and conditioned thinking, and you must learn to discern what are higher ideas and inspired ideas, and you will do it by how they feel. But you must go inside to do that. You must take time and space and patience and love and forgiveness into that internal journey. And you must understand that you need help. You need to train yourself. So those of you that are new to the journey, you must be forgiving in these initial stages. The study and the comprehension of the principles are the most important thing when you are going into these new realms. Your world is a demonstration of your erratic thinking, your ego-driven thinking, and so it is going to feel oppressive. It is going to feel out of alignment with love. But once you have been given the means to transform the mind, then you can focus on that. And that is what happened to this particular channel. She was clearly given the means to transform her mind. She was not having fun in that mind at the time, and a decision was made to transform it. And as the practice increased, more and more peace arose, less and less fear was manifested, and so this became a self-perpetuating system. And this is what we want you to understand. The more effort you put into reconditioning the mind, the more focus you put on love and forgiveness, the better your experience in the world will be, the better experience your experience of your body, your physical body will be. And you will attract to you opportunities and people and relationships that do not exist in your mind at this time. And so when you look around your world now and see these particular people, places and things and think this is the material I have to work with, well, that is the material that is arising from your current state of consciousness. It will change as you change your consciousness. So do not try and figure out what your life is going to look like from what you see in front of you now, but go inward and do the things that raise your consciousness. Eat better, think better, stop watching violence, stop being violent in the mind, stop judgment, and you will find that your vibration will raise to a level where you will manifest in front of you the ideas and the dreams that will inspire you. Inspiration is a very high vibration. Creativity is a high vibration. When you are in survival mode, riddled by fears and judgments, those vibrations cannot be reached easily. We will not come down to you. We will offer you messages in your dream state if your conscious mind is too fearful. If it is too riddled with untrue ideas, we will come into your dream state. We will come into your feeling self. And so things like dancing, things like swimming, things like napping, these are higher vibration practices that you can bring into a lower vibration world. Do not try and convert anyone on your journey. Your purpose is to wake yourself up into the higher realms of power. That is where you will wield your influence. Do not waste your time in these early stages trying to convert people, trying to educate people, unless it arises spontaneously and naturally and feels good. But dedicate yourself to understanding your own mind, understanding your own emotional guidance system, dealing with your fears as they arise. They will come to the surface in the perfect order in which they need to come to the surface. So you do not need to dig, you do not need to excavate, but feel them arising. And when they arise, deal with them to the best of your ability. If you do not know how to deal with them, just acknowledge that this is something that needs work and begin to pray, begin to ask for assistance in dealing with that particular problem. We are able to help you in many, many ways. We are able to assist in the transformation of your body. This matrix in which you live is an idea, and if you give us permission, we can assist you greatly in the transformation of ideas, which is what you are. But all of the suffering, all of the fears, all of the judgments in your mind are only ideas. That is all they are, that they are powerful. You are powerful. You are Creator God, and those ideas will manifest in your life as sicknesses and accidents and bad relationships. You must take absolute responsibility for what is happening to you, but in that is joy, because you are now seeing yourself as the creator. You can forgive yourself for your ignorance, your lack of understanding, the teachings that you have received that are not in alignment with truth, and you can begin to relax into your experience. You can begin to become observant, understanding that when you have an argument, that is a creation of your own mind. It is not anybody else doing anything to you, but you must understand the principles at play, and that is through education, and that is what the Course in Miracles will do. It will educate your mind into understanding what is happening, and once the intellectual egoic mind begins to understand what is happening, it becomes less fearful. Most of your egoic responses are because you are trying to figure something out in the future, and you cannot do it because the future does not exist. The ego mind steps into the future and begins to panic because it does not have enough information. When you begin to give it stimulating, intellectual, educational, high vibration work to do, it stops making up stories, it stops going into the future, and when you are studying the truth, you begin to educate this mind. This egoic mind is designed to keep the physical body alive and to interpret your immediate environment. That is all it is designed to do. And once you have trained it, once you have taught it what its job is, it is not your enemy. It is designed to interpret and process a lot of information about your experience here, and your experience here is valuable. This is where your awakening process is taking place. So the ego mind is your friend. It is not your friend when it is untrained. It is not your friend when it is allowed to run riot. It must be trained, it must be reined in, but it is not an unpleasant process. What is an unpleasant process is the ego mind running around, kicking over furniture and causing havoc. That is an unpleasant process. And it will get worse if you do not do something about it. So this is where the gift lies. Once you start training the mind, once you start listening to your guidance system, once you understand what is going on inside of you, you stop the accusations, you stop the blame, the fear stops being created, and you begin to manifest a world that is more in alignment with love, that is more in alignment with peace and joy and creativity. This is what you all want. It is what all beings want. There is a means to an end, and you have been given that means. But you must be dedicated to it. You must be gentle with yourself. Stop berating yourself for what you haven't accomplished, and begin to love yourself for what you are. You are a divine aspect of God mind manifested here to experience this three-dimensional time-space reality, because it is here that you see what is untrue in your mind, and that is the journey to love, that is the journey to enlightenment. You must be present to get the gems and the lessons that are contained within this experience for you. So it is gaining presence, it is about coming into the now, and to do that you must understand how the mind works, you must understand the value and the integrity of your guidance system, and yet you must also understand the trainings that you have had. You must understand how you work. You are the most divine being. You are connected to everything you need in your non-physical relationship to the divine. But if you are unable to train the mind, if you are unable to quieten the never-ending judgmental voice in the head, you cannot hear the messages that are coming from that place. It is a quieter voice, it is a gentler voice, it will not force you to do anything. You must turn towards that voice, you must turn towards the light. And to do that, you must be retrained, because you have been trained to look towards fear, you have been trained to look towards smallness, and you have been trained to look towards the material world for your salvation. Your salvation does not lie in the material world. The material world is an effect of your mind. To change the world, you must change your mind. So we will leave it there for now. We will say to you, love yourselves, be gentle with yourselves, but be disciplined with yourselves. Understand that you have a mind that is always creating every second of every day. Every thought you have is creative. Every word you say is powerful. Begin to bring some attention to those things. Do not be unconscious. Do not be undisciplined in your self-expression, but bring attention to everything you do. It seems difficult at first, but it is much more difficult, trust us, to live with the ego as the captain of your ship. You do not want that experience. So we offer you our love, we offer you our encouragement, and we will speak to you again next week.